Hi everyone, Paul Morbid here of Morbid Team Entertainment and Bolex Repair Philippines. I'm going to show you the new Bolex replacement pleather that we have for sale here at Bolex Repair Philippines. 4 sheets of it to replace all the old leather on your camera. There you go. Good stuff right there. Use these old pieces as a diagram. I'll show you how to cut these out. Also, I'll show you what to use to remove the old glue, including what glue that works effectively on gluing this onto your camera body. I'll also show you what glues not to use. So let's get started right away. Okay, you're going to be using muriatic acid. It's an old-fashioned cleanser. This stuff is strong and will burn you. Therefore, you want to make sure you got your eye protection, a face shield, long arm rubber gloves for your hands, and a surgical mask. Alright? You want to have distilled water to wash off bit by bit as you do the cleaning. Okay? Otherwise it will corrode the body. Alright? In other words, you're going to be giving your camera body an acid bath. Also, since you're going to be doing this repair yourself, if that is what you choose to do, then any mistakes you make on your person or on your Bolex are on you. Okay, my muriatic acid. I've got some in my bowl right here. I got my wire brush right there. By the way, when you start working, this acid will turn yellow. Make sure you got your protection on. You can peel this stuff up and start working around. Take an X-Acto knife and go up under it so it won't start tearing. Mine's tearing a little bit right here. And work this off, but we're going to focus right now on this part. Right there. Get my hand in my glove. There we go. And get to work quick. As you're going to see, this acid works really fast. You can scrub, but you really don't have to scrub too much, because you're going to start to see it's going to remove that old glue fast, and that's what you want. And by the way, when you put your acid in your bowl, I use straight muriatic acid. I don't dilute mine with water. If you choose to dilute yours with water, that's just fine. But make sure the water is in the container first. If you put the acid in that container first and the water second, that acid's going to go nuts. It's going to smoke, it's going to bubble, it's going to move back and forth to the left and right. It's going to be a problem. Alright. You can see what's going on right here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wash it off with distilled water, and let's take a closer look at it. Okay, there you go. It just took probably about 30-45 seconds. I rinsed it off with distilled water, and there you are. Got a tiny bit of traces I missed, but other than that, as you can see, it's nice and clean. I'll keep continuing and get the rest of this other old leather off and clean the acid using the clean off the glue using the muriatic acid. Okay, and continuing to peel off the old leather here, you're going to come across on the back of your Bolex where these holders are for the side viewfinder. Depending on what model you have, you take a look at the screws or micro screws, and you'll need your micro screwdriver. You need to remove those to continue with the old leather to remove it. There's generally not much left under there. One thing you will probably have are these screws that are frozen and they're fighting against you. Just keep working with them, pull them straight up, unscrew them out of there. I put them into my container, and you can just lift this part straight up, and as you can see, this is what you have right here. Alright, let's drop that in there, and I'll get the other one momentarily. And I put this off to my egg carton off to the side. For those of you who frequent my channel, where I keep my parts. Alright, and I use my X-Acto knife to keep removing this it generally peels right off very well anyway. Okay? Next is the Bolex handle up top. You have two screws, one on each side. As you know, they tend to be a little rusted. Take your flathead screwdriver. By the way, Bolex tends to use narrow screw heads, so just remove these right out best you can. I'm very loose in mine. Due to this, turn mine around here and get the other side. Just like so. That way I can remove the rest of the old leather off. And there we go. Alright, and essentially that's all there is to it. Okay? Okay, next are the counter dial window and the film counter window. Mine's got a hairline crack in it, and these are originally just held in around the sides of them with glue on the inside. If yours hasn't fallen out already, you just simply take your finger, push it up on the underside, and then it'll pop right out. Mine's probably going to crack. Yep, there it is. It had a hairline crack in it anyway. And I'll put those off to the side, those pieces there. And this one, flip it over. Should be able to take it with a pencil. And there you go. Straight out. There we go to the bottom of the frame. And again, it's held on with glue. And in another video, I'll show you some more things about taking care of these. This old glue right here. Got my muriatic acid here. Start removing this old leather and old glue. Remember, you got to work quick. Acid's going to start eating that old stuff away. In a bit, I'll wash it off with the distilled water to rinse it off so it won't corrode. Keep this acid away from the rest of your paint on your Bolex. Alright, that should be good enough. I'll rinse it off in just a bit. I'll keep going in the meantime and show you the results. Okay, in adding and removing the muriatic acid here, one thing I do want to share with you is it's so thick on this part of the camera body that after I've rinsed it with distilled water, I'm having to go through while it's still damp and scrape off, as you can see here, the glue. It's so thick on this part, there's so much of the glue, the acid breaks it up, the muriatic acid, and then I have to scrape it off just like that. And this is the result so far. So if you get to this part of the camera, it's going to be a little tough, but that acid still breaks it up. These lines here, you want to go ahead and take your screwdriver, your flathead screwdriver, sideways and scrape the glue out of there. Just like that is what you're going to want to do. These little crevices help hold the glue inside and onto the new pleather. Alright? That's what those lines are for. It's going to hold the glue. Kind of like a primer. Alright, so make sure you remove the glue in those lines. Okay, so I went around the perimeter using the old leather as a diagram here to cut out the new pleather using my X-Acto knife. And I can go ahead and start removing parts. Taking this up. Okay, so there I go. And let's take a look at that. I know I'll have to trim it up. Move those out of there. Alright, so here we go. Here's the old stuff over here, and here's the new. Let's take a good look at it. Flip it over might help, Paul. And there we are. So before I get into actually gluing down the new pleather onto the Bolex camera cover, what glue to use and what glue not to use. First, I'm going to show you here what glues are not effective. Hot glue, not effective. Wood glue, no. Rubber cement, no. And super glues are also a no. The rubber cement, if you're in hot weather and you get to the summertime, or if you're in a hot country, this stuff is just going to turn and liquefy under there, and your pleather is just going to peel off. So don't use it. All right. So these are the glues not to use. All right. What glues to use? I use one that's very effective. It's Elastoseal. This in the Philippines goes by many different names. It's a high-grade waterproof sealant, non-sag, works on wet surfaces, and it's really long-lasting. It does a good job on not chipping away and becoming brittle. And it's used primarily because the Philippines, of course, is tropical, to seal rooftops. Sheet metal rooftops on different things, and water pipes and stuff like that. So that's a good thing, and it has a little bit of elasticity to it as well, and that's good. So I put some on the pleather right here, and we're going to show you. Here's the door of the Bolex after the acid bath that we got on there. I'm going to go ahead and start applying this, the pleather, to there, and we're going to show you some of the finished product. And one more glue that is effective, and I just don't have a tube of it at the moment, is shoe goo glue. Okay, so here's the new pleather installed. This is exactly what it looks like. Just like so. Very nice, very attractive. All right. And for the size of the aluminum, you want to get that polished. Get yourself some metal polish for aluminum, copper, brass, and all that type of thing, and just apply it right there and use your drill with a buffing attachment to the end of it, and get that right there. All right. I do have as well the cover, and here it is after the acid bath, and here's some polishing and the unpolished part for the metal polish. And again, another glue to use is shoe goo glue. I don't have the tube of it. The only drawback is it takes a week to dry, and the only way you can remove it is with gas or kerosene. All right, but other than that, once it's on there and it's not going to move. So in order to order this new pleather, do contact me at Bolex Repair Philippines FB page, or email me at bolexrepairphilippines@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe. And whoever's wondering about the film button, how to remove it, I have an extra video for that I'll drop it down in the comment section of this one. Alright? So until next time, see ya!